What's up, y'all? It's Finn, and I'm in my bathroom because it has really good lighting. You can see my fucking face real well. So, anyway, I wanted to talk about reconciling oneself with the struggle, so to speak. And so, let me go ahead and just dive right into it. So, I identify as a gender. And what that means to me is that there are just a variety of roles and norms that are ascribed to gender, especially, binary genders. And I don't subscribe to that, period. And so characteristics, attributes that would normally be attributed to gender for other people, for me it's attributed to other things, like being polite. I'm not polite because that's what girls do. I'm not polite because that's what guys do. I'm polite because being polite makes the world easier to navigate through. It just makes life go a lot smoother. I open doors for whoever the fuck is behind me because it's polite. Not because that's what girls do, not because that's what guys do. It's what Finn does. The way that I dress. Some days I look more conventionally feminine. Some days I look more conventionally masculine. Some days it doesn't look like I'm trying to go for anything. And that's because all of the days that I like, every day, I'm not going for anything except Finn. So I'm dressing the way that I would like to dress, and that's not gendered, it's Finn. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm trying to get at. So like the way that I interact with other people, the way that I walk, the way that I talk. Like literally, the way that I walk is conventionally feminine as far as gender is concerned, but for me it's a sex thing because I was born with hips that are far apart, and that's the way that I walk. It's not really a gender thing. It's not like me consciously doing something. It's because, this is the way that I was born, and I work with the things that I have, and I change the things that I can change, that I would like to change. But it's not really gender to me. It's just Finn. So I'm not trying, to get on special snowflake status or any of that shit. It's not, a matter of standing out, being different. It's literally just trying to be myself. That is what I am trying to do all day, every day, is be myself. And I don't know, like for people that don't understand that, just think of it like you would apply anything to yourself. You're not trying to be super out of the box and crazy with it. You're just trying to live your fucking life. And that's what I'm trying to do. So, in that, I realize that there is a difference between the way that the world perceives me and the way that I perceive myself. And it's important to acknowledge your identity. It's important to acknowledge yourself and how you think of yourself, but it's also very important to acknowledge how the rest of the world sees you, because a good bit of my existence is based on my interactions with other people and my interactions with the world around me. And I realize that the rest of the world, the majority of people in the world, care very deeply about gender. And while I don't give a shit about gender, I need to be cognizant of, the thoughts of others. So I was socialized growing up to be a tomboy. So conventionally speaking, a girl that acts like a guy. And so in that, there are, two sets of rules that I'm following rather than just the one set that's, put on girls. And to me, that's just fucking very arbitrary. I just don't like the idea that there are rules that I have to follow to be socially acceptable. I just think that's really dumb. Like, as far as gender goes, I think it's really dumb. Because, I'm into laws. Because laws keep people safe. They're designed to keep people safe. But what is gender for? Like, gender norms, to me, they just don't serve a purpose. Outside of, I don't know, making people feel comfortable. They don't make me feel comfortable. so I don't use them. Also, funny story, I have a little brother, and my parents, my dad in particular, was so dead set on socializing me, like a tomboy, that he actually called me the son that he never had, kind of ignoring the existence of my brother. Needless to say, that was a bit damaging. But yeah, I was socialized as a tomboy. And so I followed both girl rules and guy rules. And it was a bit confusing because there are some guy rules that I couldn't follow because that's not what girls do. And then there are some girl rules that I can't wear pink frilly dresses. I can't want to be a princess. I can't do, princess pretend. Can't pretend that I am a singer, or like, there are strict rules on how you have to act within the gender binary, and it's just, I'm not interested. And growing up, I've always been seen as a woman, and I am absolutely cognizant of that. I am not delusional. I am aware that the rest of the world sees me as a woman, and I have been treated as a woman. And while I don't particularly want that to happen, while I don't like it, it's the way that it is. And so I have to accept that. Something that's also very, very important about my identity is not only being a woman, or being perceived as a woman, is being perceived as a black woman. I am black. I identify with blackness. Getting that right out there, right off the get-go. And black womanhood, while I don't identify as a woman, I identify with black womanhood. Because a lot of the experiences, a lot of the culture that I was, raised in was based on black womanhood. So yeah, it's really important to me to acknowledge that and embrace that. And a lot of the experiences that I have had that were traumatic were based on my womanhood as a black woman, and how the world perceives me that way. So when I was younger, I was sexually assaulted. I've been sexually assaulted by family members. I've been sexually assaulted by people that I thought were friends. And it's gross, and it fucking sucked. It was terrible. And these experiences weren't born of, me being perceived as a man or me being perceived as an agender person. It was born of the perception that I am a woman and someone who can be taken advantage of. And to ignore the cultural components of womanhood, to me, is to ignore those experiences. And I do not want to ignore those experiences. I don't want to make light of the experience, because those are important parts of my identity, and they have changed the way that I see the world. And so that being said, I endeavor to fight not only for, equal treatment of people of all races, but also for equal treatment of women. And it's because I identify with womanhood. So yeah, I don't consider myself a woman, but I understand the struggle.